Okay, Bernie White, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Oh, dude, everything's going on, and I'm excited about it. So here's what we're gonna do. Everybody that's on, welcome to the call. I see a couple familiar faces popping on. If you guys want to tag a friend, if you guys want to tag somebody, do it. Just another, and I know some of you guys might have seen Bernie on when Sean interviewed him, but what I'm trying to do is I'm going back through, and as I see people, Sean, we have Sean interview everybody when they get their first deal or whatever. And then once they start to get a few more deals and really pick up that momentum, I'm slowly starting to make my way back through the crowd and just, extract the lessons and the nuggets from all these people. So we got Bernie White on the call today. Bernie, tell everybody where you're sitting. By the way, this is going to be like 30 minutes tops, but tell everyone where you're located right now as we're speaking.
I'm in San Diego, California. I'm in Ocean Beach.
Beautiful. So San Diego, California. And if I remember right, you had moved there from Northern California a couple months ago, or am I crazy?
No, I moved from Northern Virginia a couple months ago.
Northern Virginia, that's right. Okay, cool. Was it like Roanoke area? I couldn't remember.
No. I had a lead gen in Roanoke. I have Arlington, Virginia area, Washington, D.C., honestly.
Yeah. I know where that's at. So Jordan Villanueva, we got him. He's in that area, still is. Anyway, dude, that's not why we're on here. I just wanted to tell everyone where you're at. You're in California. Here's the real question. Do you have any lead generation sites in California, or are you listening to my advice?
So I did listen to your advice, and then I didn't, because I was like, I found something that was real right for the taking, set up a lead gen site there, and haven't gotten any leads, so I decided to can it, and I'm gonna just stick with you.
Dude, either way, I would have been happy if you would have said, hey, I'm having success. I would have been like, cool. But now that you're not, I can be like, told you, bro.
Yeah, well, I was like, maybe he's just keeping California to himself.
No, trust me, anyone watching this, you can have California. I even have like this stupid little TikTok, and I'm like, you want to know the place you need to avoid? Northern California, Southern California, Central California, and that's it. It's just a kind of a joke, but I love California. I'm actually going to be in California next week. I'm going to be in Anaheim for 2 days, coming back and literally going right back to San Diego. So maybe we'll have to link up, dude. We need to talk about that later. But anyway, so dude, the reason I wanted to bring you on this call is you have a unique story. Everyone's got a unique story, but the reason that I wanted to bring you on specifically is, and I'll let you tell a lot of this story, but so Bernie, I'm going to let him share his background here in just a second. But he actually got into this space, into the rank and rent space, doing it the traditional way. Like he got into a program that was, just a traditional build, SEO, wait, then sell. And luckily, Bernie saw the writing on the wall, and he's like, dude, I don't want to wait 4 to 6 months to go and make money. And so you actually didn't even go down that route. You started learning SEO, but you didn't even like start spending money. You're just like, no, I'm going to go pre-sell. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that's what I want to talk about, because I see so many people that get into this business, and it's an amazing business model. But if you're not careful, this can easily turn into a very expensive hobby, right? Like, if you build 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 websites and you are not making money on those websites, you do not have a business, my friends. You have a freaking hobby, and it's expensive. So real quick, tell everyone, before you got into this space of digital marketing, building digital properties, and becoming a digital landlord, what were you doing, dude? What kind of occupation? What was your 9 to 5 day-to-day looking like?
So I've always been in like government consulting, doing like honestly like data analytics is what I was doing. So always working on a laptop, but always looking for that like kind of a side hustle thing. So I feel like a lot of people who are in this space, we're all looking for sort of the same thing. Probably tried other things. So I had tried I had done a drop shipping site, like a legit one. Like I made it and sold some stuff, but it wasn't profitable enough to quit my day job. So what I did is I sold the store, took the proceeds from that, and bought the original course that I was using to learn the SEO for this.
Got it.
And because I figured it sounded like it was a business model I've never even heard of before, but it was real clever. It was, because honestly, you're providing a lot of value for the business owner, so it seems like an easy sell. I bought that course in like mid-May, which was like right during my move to California. So I was busy, and I think I told you I went through like 30% of the training, just going through all the SEO stuff, like, you know, doing due diligence. You have to find the right city, find the right niche, you know, build these sites up. I never even built a single site, honestly, because I'm kind of lazy, but I was just trying to figure out like how am I going to do this? And I started seeing a lot of because I was very active in the Facebook group, and I started seeing a lot of comments about pre-selling, seeing the terms pre-selling, and then saw your name pop up here and there, and that's when I joined the free group. And I think it was within like 2 or 3 days of joining the free group, I went and bought the course. And like I said, once I sold my first deal, to the day I'd never ranked a site. Like I just saw that you could start selling the sites and doing the ranking afterwards. Because the business owners, all they really care about is getting leads, you know. You don't even really need a ranked site if you don't want to. You could run ads forever. The margins are there. So
100%. And that's what I always say is like, I always recommend ranking the website. Why? Because now you have the asset piece of this. That's what makes the whole thing kind of
right.
like together. But if you're somebody that's like, dude, I need to bring in money, go pre-sell 5-10 deals, build up your cash flow. The margins, like you said, are there. And then you can worry about the SEO in 6 months or 8 months or 12. Dude, there's sites I have right now, candidly speaking, where we sold the website. Dude, in fact, I'll tell you the story. I have one in Albuquerque. I think I've shared this before. In Albuquerque, we got this deal, and I'm not messing with you. 1 year later, this is a couple months ago, I slacked or messaged Francesca, there's a couple offices down, like in this building, and I was like, hey, where are we at with the Albuquerque site? And I was like, what's our ranking looking like? And she's like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. We don't have one. And I'm like, what do you mean we don't have one? She's like, we don't have one. I'm looking at GoDaddy, we just don't have one. And I'm like, it must be under a different account. Sure enough, we have a 1-page ghetto looking landing page, and we've just been running ads, charging $1,000, running $500 in ads, and we've been making $500. We made $6,000 over the last 12 months or whatever, and didn't even have a website.
It's just the background, yeah.
And so I'm like, okay. And by the way, we went and built it. I was like, that's called a bad system that we didn't have. We didn't have a system in place to catch that. So I'm not saying that I'm a believer in that. I'm just saying what's so cool about pre-selling is you're building in the cost of the ad from day one, which means you're never going to go negative. You're never going to make less than 40% profit margin if you follow exactly what I train, which is insane. Even if Google comes tomorrow and says, hey, I don't like the way you do backlinks, we're de-indexing you, we're sandboxing you, whatever, cool, go for it, Larry, go for it, Sergey, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Right. I'm still going to be making my 40% rip, drinking my ultra peachy Keens, feeling real keen.
No, that's exactly right. So I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
For me, the pre-selling thing is what really got me into it. And from here, I'm worrying about I am trying to rank the sites, but that's kind of like the step 2 about it. Where the first approach I saw was like, let's rank a bunch of sites and then sell them.
And here's what I want to ask you, because by the way, Bernie's been working with me, just a little bit of context. It was like the beginning of July. He said it was July 8th. We talked about it right before. So July, August, and September. So you've been working with me for 3 months. Okay.
Right.
Which is still like crazy because you're already at $3,000. So you're averaging $1,000 a month, but you only have 2 deals. But what's interesting is like, you didn't just go get your deal in 2 seconds. You worked, dude. I remember we were messaging back and forth. You had some no-shows. Like, let's talk about that for a minute, because I think a lot of people just sort of think like, oh, dude, I'm just gonna like show up and whatever. No, you worked for that first deal, and then lo and behold, number 2 came a lot quicker. But like, it took you, at least a month to get that first deal. Am I crazy or am I dreaming?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was like 6. So the first 2 weeks, I came out the gate just really excited to get a deal. The first 2 weeks, my Google ad account got suspended. Just
By the way,
out of the gate.
tell everyone right now, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, how do you avoid it? You can't. Oh, it's gonna happen. Just deal with it. It's part of business. Go ahead.
I remember, yeah, you told me, you're like, oh, by the way, when you get started, at some point in your life, you'll get your ads account suspended. I was like, yeah, whatever. It was suspended. And so I had to deal with that. And so like, I couldn't, for 2 weeks, I couldn't generate leads to pre-sell, so I was like, doing due diligence and all this other stuff. I ended up making an entire new account and getting around that. So after that, I set up a few landing pages, struck out once, got another guy on the hook, and I had 2 no-shows where a guy took my leads. It was him and his wife. I had to like deal with them, and then they just didn't come to my Zoom call after like all this correspondence. Then there was another guy who I did get to the Zoom close with, and he was really into it, but he was really hounding me on the numbers. He knew his numbers really well. He wanted to do commission deal, and then we set up another meeting, and we just never closed it. Then my 4th deal, or my 4th Zoom, the guy no-showed, and I did the famous pullback, and he called me right back, and then that's the first deal I closed.
I love that, dude. Let's talk. So I think the lesson, and this is why I wanted to bring you on, because I think sometimes we get on these calls and for a lot of people, they get deals quick and everything goes good and they close that first guy or girl. But what I love about it, bro, I remember we were messaging back and forth, and I know you were frustrated, but you weren't giving up. You were just like, dude, right there, you went up to bat 4 times before you ever got a deal, right?
Right.
Well, actually, you dealt with the suspended ad account and 4 times getting up to bat before you close the deal. And it's crazy because I'll have people that will literally try it once. Like they'll set up 1 ad and they'll get a couple leads. They'll get somebody on the hook. They won't even get to the Zoom close. And they'll just throw up their hands and go, oh, this doesn't work, which is actually AKA I'm too lazy and I just want to blame it on you or something else, or this is, but no, dude, there's going to be freaking stuff that comes up, dude. And you know what? Like if you look on those other 3 that you didn't close, I'm sure there's these little things that you could have done differently that maybe would have closed the deal.
For sure.
But it's part of the learning curve, bro. And still, let's put this in context, dude. Like, okay, so 6 weeks, you literally made, you put in your first deal. Tell everyone what how much your first deal was for 6 weeks into work.
So the first deal was $350 a week. I pitched it as, I was like, I'll do it for $1,400 a month, and he was like, well, let's work on the numbers a little bit. I was like, all right, I can do it for $350 a week, which is more.
Don't you love that?
And he agreed to it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what's your credit card information? And so he signed on to it. So yeah, the first one was $350 a week. Then the second deal was honestly way easier. Like I had him on the Zoom for maybe like 15 minutes, and he's like, yeah, bro, like I'm all in. Like let's just wrap this up. What's it cost? Like, and yeah, as you said, it was challenging at first, but I think you do it long enough, you'll have some that are just easier to wrap up. Just got to keep at it. The second one was straight $1,500 a month.
And that's what I always tell people that start working with us and they join Digital Landlords or even in the free group. I'm like, look, if you will just keep doing the process and keep getting to the Zoom close, because like, let's clarify here. Just because you're like putting up landing pages or doing homework or even getting people on the hook, if you're not getting 2 Zoom calls like this and asking people to give you their credit card and put it on your Stripe account and charge their card, you are actually not doing the thing that's going to move the needle. So like that is work, right? Like we need to clarify that, because I think some people are like, oh, I'm working so hard. How many people have you gotten on Zoom? 0. Okay, you're not doing any work, dude. You're doing all the stuff that leads to work, but you're not doing the actual work. So the point though, if you will just do those Zoom calls, if you'll do all the preliminary and do enough of those Zoom calls, you will close deals. And so I always say, I'm like, dude, I want everybody to get a deal in 30 days. However, just because you don't, as long as you keep getting on Zoom calls, keep doing the process, you have no idea how many deals you're going to get over the next 90 days and 180 days and 365 days, right? And so it's like a lot of times we don't get a deal in 30 days and we give up. But you don't realize, dude, if you had given up at day 30, you'd be at 0. You kept at it for 90 and now you're making like, well, you're making $3,000 a month.
Right.
Like it's crazy. So I guess I'm kind of just trying, because I hear all these things, I see the comments on YouTube and all these things. It's like, dude, you've been doing it a month, and let's put it in context. You didn't have a background in digital marketing. Like, you're not like you had an agency and you're coming over and like, oh, I'm going to sell a new service. You were literally like a completely different field. And dude, the fact that you were able to jump from, okay, I just learned this to $3,000 a month in 90 days is stupid, dude.
Yeah, man. It's honestly just keeping at it. Just keep doing it.
Well, think about this. If you just do what you just did, times it by 4, you're going to be over 10K a month within your first year at this, which is so stupid, dude.
Oh, for sure. I have no plans of stopping anytime soon.
It's like, I'm not saying that's your only goal, but I'm just saying, like, even if you just kept chugging away, and it's not like your next 90 days, you're going to do less than you did. As long as you put in the same work, you're more than likely going to do 50 to 100% more than you did the last 90. But even if you didn't, you're on pace to be at 10K a month in the first 12 months. And very few people get to that. So dude, it baffles me every single time that people give up after, 1 try, 2 tries, 30 days. It's like, dude, what world do you live in where you expected to be at 50K by the end of 30 days?
Right.
You know what I mean? So what was it like transitioning, dude? Like, for people out there that are in the 9 to 5, and I know you're still holding your 9 to 5, this is still a side hustle until you get to a certain point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those that are still doing their 9 to 5 and are going to have to do their 9 to 5 to kind of make that transition, like, you live in California, it's not like rent's cheap. How has that been? Like that how do you manage that with the 9 to 5 and doing this? Because I know there's way more people that have the 9 to 5 than don't. So talk about that for a second.
Right. So I have kind of a little like a unique situation where I'm on the West Coast, but I'm working East Coast hours. So I'm done at 2 p.m. every day, because I'm working East Coast hours. So from 2 to 5, I'm open to doing like prospecting calls if needed, right? Like, and there's business owners are answering their phones at that time.
What time do you start on Pacific time?
On Pacific time, I'm up at like 6 a.m.
Okay, so I just want to point that out for anyone that's like, oh, that's not my situation. Yeah, but guess what? If your situation was different and you started at 9, let's say you were on Eastern time and you were starting on PST, guess what? You could just get up and do those 3 hours in the morning before you started work. But I'm just pointing that out because I know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grinding. I've been grinding. Like, I've been putting in a lot of hours because I have my full-time job.
Totally.
And the thing is like, people can call, like, they'll have random clients will call in for a lead. A lot of times I'll just take it real quick, or I'll tell them to text me, and then I get back to them. So it's very manageable in the middle of the day, because all I tell them is I just straight up say, I'm like, yeah, I'm not the business owner. I'm just running their calls for them. But we'll get back to you either later today or tomorrow with a quote for you. And everyone's always cool about it. They're like, okay, yeah, sure. And I get their name and their number, and then I'll transfer it later, whether I have a business owner on the hook or not. Like, a lot of times it's like I don't have one yet, and then I have to go find someone, and then I'm on the hook to go get somebody, and I'll transfer it over.
In fact, you just, when we got on this call right before, you had a lead come in and you told them that, you just said, hey, you got their information, I'll call you back and we'll get you taken care of, right?
Right. And yeah, so now I need to figure that out. Yeah.
Love it, dude. I love it, man. Here's what I'm curious about, and this is so fun for me. Like, what are you trying to do? And I know we talked about this in July when you came and started working with us at Digital Landlords, but what are you trying, like, what is this a vehicle to do? Like, everyone's different, right? Some people want to go and buy their time back and just go travel the world. Some people just want to make as much money as possible to buy real estate. some people it's this. Like, what are you trying to do with digital real estate that yeah, like maybe that's unique to you or maybe not, but like what are you using digital real estate as a vehicle to?
Honestly, I'm just trying to make more money so I can work less. I I just moved out here to the beach. I want to be able to go out to the beach and not have to. I want to be able to quit my 9 to 5 job. Um, I'd still see this as a job, but this is something I would enjoy doing much more than having to report to a job. This is something you can do on your own schedule, and I can just go live on the beach,
Yeah, I love it, dude.
away from the ocean. That's what I want to do.
What did you have any reservations when you jumped into this because you didn't have a background in SEO, you didn't have a background in building websites. I know you'd built like some drop shipping website, whatever, but like you didn't have any experience in like, oh, I'm going to build a bunch of these lead gen sites. Did you have anything that you were like, I don't know, man, I don't have any of that tech, or were you just like, no, I'll figure it out and I'm going to learn it in the program and everything else, or did you have any reservations there?
My like only one like reservations when I initially found out about it, it was like, what if I can't get my sites to rank? What if I can't rank my sites and then I build 10, 20 websites and then I try to rank them all and then I can't rank them, then I'll never be able to sell them. And then it clicked. I was like, oh, I don't need to rank them. I can sell them and worry about the ranking later. So that was my only thing, was about the SEO. But right now I'm outsourcing that part. Like it's like I'm selling it first, using the money to outsource it to people who know SEO better. And honestly, there's profit margin just running the ads. So that reservation was kind of put aside when I realized like there's still money to be made if you can just get people leads. You don't need to stress about ranking websites and like where they are in the rankings. That's like a secondary issue.
That's why I think it's, dude, and I totally love that you said that, but like that's why I think it's so interesting that everyone in this, it's funny that it's called rank and rent instead of rent and rank, right? Like, dude, it makes total sense when you really think about it. If you don't sell the deal, you don't have a client, right?
Right.
If you don't have a client, you ain't making money. It's just a hobby. And if it's just a hobby, go play golf.
Right.
Stupid. So it's like, why wouldn't you focus on the sale first? Why wouldn't you get the deal? Why wouldn't you get the credit card? And now what you're saying is like, hey, I'm short on time, but I'm a little long on money right now because I got a job and I'm making money. So you're just buying other people's time and they're doing the SEO because they're better at it. I still like I tell everyone, I would still master it, make sure you know it enough so that you know that you're not getting taken advantage of. But that's what's cool is if it was the reverse, you would be trying to rank and all this stuff. And dude, you'd still probably have another 3 months before you could even start selling these websites.
Right.
But now you're like, dude, I have money coming in, I'm making money, and I'm going to put it back into my business, and I'm going to have somebody else do the SEO. So like literally, you're just like taking money from the business owner, paying somebody else to build it, paying somebody else to do the SEO, and you own the asset. Awesome.
I'm just middlemaning, really, is all I'm doing. Yeah.
You are literally a middleman. That's it.
Yeah.
You're a broker. You're just literally like you're connecting the business owner with the client, and then you're connecting the white label SEO with your website, and it's like you're just QB in the whole thing and building assets.
Pretty much, yeah.
I love it, dude. But because even if you don't make $1, but you're building assets, at some point it's going to rank, and you can stop paying those people to do SEO, and now you have an asset that's making you money every single month.
Right.
When did you have the realization that you had to make a change? Because dude, from what you're telling me, the gig that you had, the job that you currently have, you probably worked your butt off to even get it, because you don't just land government data freaking analyst jobs just by coming out with your GED. Like I could tell you hustled to get that, but like at what point did you realize, dude, this ain't gonna work. I gotta do something else. I gotta have a side hustle. I gotta start making money, owning the asset, buying my time. Like when did that click for you?
Honestly, it was when I had my other side hustle thing, and I was like, it was the side hustle sucks. I was doing that drop shipping thing, and I was like, this isn't gonna cut it ever. And so when I sold that, I was like, I'm gonna look for something else. And that's when it clicked to me that there was a lot of money that could be made in this. And it's so scalable, right? It's like you want to make more money, get another client. And you want more money, get another, like and it's recurring. It's just such a good, like I was selling like high ticket, like I was selling like wine coolers and stuff, but and there's decent margins in it until shipping came. But you have to keep selling another one. Here you have one client and you get recurring monthly income. It's just a great business model. When it clicked to me is when I heard about it. Honestly, I think I bought the course the next day after I saw it.
Dude, have you ever had a conversation with anybody? I know I haven't, but maybe you have. Have you ever told anyone what you do and you're like, hey, I build these little websites. They don't cost me that much money and I sell them for thousands of dollars per month and I'm just a middleman. Have you ever said that to anyone and they're like, oh, that's stupid, bro?
No.
No.
Honestly, dude, I'm not even really telling anyone until I reach a certain level, and then I'll just let people know what I've been doing. Because
dude, I'm all about that, bro. That's like the Gatsby, right? Like just loaded, no one knows what you do, right? It could be drugs, could be this, right? Could be whatever. No, I respect that, but it's just interesting. Like, you hear about like, let's say like drop shipping. If you start talking about drop shipping, you're gonna have somebody like, yeah, but I got this buddy and it's like really expensive or whatever. Dude, I've never heard anyone talk bad about this model because if you do it correctly, it's like, it just makes sense.
it does, yeah.
I just keep waiting for like people to find out about it.
That's the same, dude. I'm like, I don't want too many people doing it.
I know, right? It's like, and I keep preaching this. I'm like, guys, we are at the land grab stage. We are at the stage where crypto was whatever it was, $100 a coin. And I'm not
11 cents. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying this is crypto because that's a pretty bold thing, but I'm saying like, that's what, like right now, dude, you can throw up as many sites as you want. You go sell as many deals as you want. Like, we haven't even touched the niches. We haven't, like, it's so crazy that people aren't just putting all of their chips in this, or at least some of their chips in this basket. I don't know why every person, whether they got a job or not, doesn't have a couple of digital real estate properties. Dude, at least get one that pays your car note, get one that pays your house payment, get one that pays for your travel. Dude, like, it's the quickest, fastest, down and dirtiest way to get passive income, and there's assets attached. I just can't understand why people aren't jumping. Like, more people don't know about this.
Yeah, you could just do it on the side, and I could just quit right now, and I still have an extra 3K to. I mean, that's a car pay. I mean, that's a real nice car payment.
Totally, and even right now, even if you don't do SEO, based on your deals, I bet you're probably at least 40 to 50% profit margin.
At least, yeah.
Stupid, dude.
But yeah.
But we can sit here and scream it from the housetops. I think some people, they've just heard so many of the like spiels that they're just kind of jaded and they're like, yeah, but maybe like, I guess it's like, what would their motive be to lie to you that this is as good as it sounds?
It only doesn't work if you don't do it. Honestly, it only doesn't work if you don't do it. If you just go through the steps and keep doing it, you'll get a deal.
But that's the key, bro.
I didn't close, but you have to just keep doing it and you'll get one.
But that's the key, is like, you have to do it, and you have to lock in your head, like, I'm going to do this until I succeed, because you might land your first deal, your first Zoom call, but you might have an ad account suspended and have to go through 4. But luckily you were smart enough and you had committed enough that you're like, I don't care what it's going to take, I'm going to get it. And so that's what I wish we could drill into more people, is like, they're almost like, well, if I go and I start doing this and I land a deal in 30 days, then I'm going to go all in. It's like, no, you go all in. And if you get a deal in 30 days, cool, go get another one. If you don't, you just keep doing it until you get a deal. And this is the crazy part, dude. You already said it, but the second deal always comes easier than the first deal.
Right. I didn't even have a lead to give the guy. So I was prospecting in Iowa City. And like the idea is find someone who's running ads.
Right.
So this guy was running ads, and I used Valentine app to show as if I'm searching in Iowa City. So okay. I click on that. This guy shows up. I call him. He's in South Carolina. Like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm in South Carolina. I'm like, your site comes up for Iowa City. And he's like, whoa, what the, and I'm like, yeah, dude, why, who's running your ads? And he's like,
Dude,
and I was like, how's that going for you? And then I just talked him into prospecting, and then I immediately set up a landing page for where he's located. And then I was like, I'll send you a lead in a week or two. Give me a week or two. I'll start sending you some leads. And then I ended up closing them.
bro, I love that. You did so many things that like people don't even notice that were correct there. Number one is like you saw an opportunity. You didn't just go, well, yeah, I'm looking at the city. You were like, okay, let me check out where you're at, right? The other thing that I really like about what you said, most people don't pick up on, is when you said, let me get you a lead or two, you didn't say, I'll have the lead for you in 2 days.
I know you got to give yourself some time. Yeah.
Yeah, you gave yourself enough time, because I think it's sometimes we get so excited because we're like, you want to impress them, but like, you're like, yeah, give me a little bit of time. I'll give you a lead. And that allows you, let's say you put up a landing page and it doesn't hit right away. You don't look like an idiot, right?
Right.
So what I'm hearing is, dude, you're listening on the calls, you're maturing as a agency owner and a salesperson. So hats off to you, because those are some really key things that people are like, oh, what do you do when you get a business owner hooked and then you don't get a lead for 3 days? I'm like, you just tell them there's no lead. Like it just you don't need to promise people that you're going to get them 4 leads in 24 hours. You promise them nothing.
Under promise, overperform. Yeah.
Yeah, you just say, hey, let me get you a couple of free jobs. It might take a couple days. It might take a couple weeks. I just want to get you a couple good ones. And then what do? You go and you turn on the ads, and then you go boom, boom, boom. In 48 hours, you send them 4, and they're like, dude, this guy's not messing around.
Right.
Versus, I think it's so easy.
Deals. Yeah.
Yeah, as a human, you're like, dude, I'm gonna get you 6 leads in 24 hours. And it's like, the business owner's like, dude, whatever, bro. You know what I mean? Come on. So, dude, hats off to you, dude. So $3,000 a month while holding a 9-to-5, living where you want to live. I love it, dude. Like you're how old are you?
I'm 31.
31 years old, bro. What does your wife think of this stuff?
My wife thinks you're crazy.
Tell me something I don't know already. I love it.
It's funny because she always hears your videos in the background, and she's like, who is this Nick Wood guy just always screaming on your computer? And I was like, it's hilarious. No, but she's into it. I think now she's a believer because I've done other things in the past that haven't made money. But now I'm at 3K, and it only took me a few months. So
I want to bring one last thing. I'll let you go because that's so important. So many people have done their first thing, tried it, it didn't work, or it didn't work like they pitched their spouse or their partner. And then what happens is the spouse or partner, they're really leery. The next time they want to do something, they're like, yeah, but Bernie, you said that with the drop shipping thing, right? How did you get her on board with the second thing when the first thing didn't do anything?
Oh, dude, I didn't get her on board, dude. I just went in. I went all in.
There we go. That's what I was hoping you're gonna say, bro. I had to do the same thing. I made a $50,000 mistake. I invested in the stock market. My wife told me, I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good. Don't do it. I just did it. I'm like, nah, too much upside, right? I invested in stock. It was like a week after Alibaba blew up. So I'm like, dude, if I would have invested in Alibaba, I would have got rich, right? Said, no. I did it anyway. We lost the money. So for the longest time, she kept holding over my head. She's like, yeah, you just see money signs, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of true. Actually, it's true, right? So when I finally started getting into this, you know what I had to do is I went to her and I was like, hey, there's this thing and I want to do it and it's cost this much. She's like, no. And so I just had to make a decision. And by the way, I'm not trying to split up marriages here, but at some point I just had to go, you know what? She's not going to totally understand this. I just did it. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to beg for forgiveness. I'm going to show her like what I can make from this. And I really believed in it. And I've made millions of dollars from that decision. So I think my point is this: if you're somebody who hasn't made that mistake, be very careful about what you, because once you do it once, like with your drop shipping thing, and it doesn't pan out like you paint the picture to be, you're going to have to really sell the next one. Right.
Right. Exactly.
And if you've done that and made that mistake, like a lot of us have, sometimes you got it. Like for me, I realized I'm like, dude, I will make this work. I'm confident enough in myself, my abilities. I'll make this work come hell or high water. let's do this thing. And so we had a little bit of an argument, but you know what? It is what it is. And she's not complaining now. Say that.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
So anyway, I love it, bro. Well, dude, thanks so much for your time. Like, I wanted to make this shorter. I know you don't have that much time with all the other stuff you have going on, but I really just think it's so valuable for anyone that's got a 9-to-5, that doesn't have tech experience, that's looking to like get out of their situation, replace their job income, all the different things. That's like, quit overthinking it. Start pre-selling your gigs and let's go make some money. Like that's like, and also if you're not getting involved in this industry, you're crazy.
Oh yeah, you're definitely crazy. Even if you did it as just a side hustle, you're having, you know, you have extra money on the side. Like, should be doing it at least a little bit. Honestly, everyone should.
Everyone should have a couple of, there's no reason everyone watching this, if you're watching this, I don't care if it's now or 2024, by the time this video hits your station, you should have a couple digital real estate properties. It costs, you don't need to get licensed. It costs you very little to get involved. And there's only upside. Like just don't be stupid and at least try to make an educated decision. Don't just go into some stupid niche, but like, yeah, that's all I can say. And there's going to be a time in 5 years when we're going to look back and be like, man, I wish I could go back to 2022. Remember how many deals we were getting? Remember how easy it was to get deals? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're going to get there in like 5-10 years and we're going to wish we had really taken advantage of that time more.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Totally. So anyway, dude, appreciate your time, man. And any last, I guess I want to end with this, dude. Anything for anyone, specifically for somebody that is in a 9-to-5, that any like tip that you, any tip or advice to end this that you would give them, 9-to-5er that's like, hey, I want to buy my time back. Any advice?
Honestly, in the 9-to-5, don't overthink it, because I was overthinking it for a while. Like, what am I going to do when leads come in? How, like, what if I'm in a meeting and a lead comes in? Like, just set it up, and it's not that hard. It doesn't take that much time. You just have to go through the steps, and it's totally doable. Like, don't overthink it. Is honestly the only thing I could say.
Just send it.
Yeah.
Love it, bro. Hey, appreciate your time, dude. We'll talk soon.
All right. See you, man.
Thanks, everybody. See you guys.